Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cinemaxxers podcast. I'm Adam alongside Joseph and Yoni. And today we've got a special episode. We're going to be doing a superhero bracket, 32 superhero movies. We seeded them by average letterboxd rating, and we are going to have debates on each and every one of them and eventually come up with a superhero movie champion. This one's going to be a real fun one as we all love superheroes here, love the types of movies. We have some mixed opinions on Marvel movies. We'll get into that plenty. This is a full episode for that. But just to start, we are going to introduce a new segment into these podcasts, and it's just going to be a quick one. At the beginning of every podcast, we're going to mention every single movie that we've watched since the last podcast. We're not going to have a debate or a discussion. We're just going to mention it and maybe a quick one sentence thing. So I'll start off. I've seen three movies since the last episode that we filmed, being our overrated, underrated movies. And the movies that I've seen are Ensemble Day, Disclosure Day, and Catch Me If You Can. Um, we're not going to provide any spoilers on any of the movies we talk about on any of these. We'll actually have like in-depth discussions if there's a movie that we all watch and we all want to talk about. But just in general, there won't be any spoilers, so don't feel the need to skip past this if you haven't seen a movie. On Sunday, I gave it 3.5 stars, and it didn't hit me as hard as it hit both Joseph and Yoni. It's still a very well-made film. It is in subtitles, so if you do plan on watching it, just expect that, but it's still a very well-made movie. I watched Disclosure Day in theaters on Thursday. I have some strong opinions about this, but we actually have a full Disclosure Day episode coming up for you. It'll be posted about Tuesday. Joseph seeing the movie on Monday. And finally, actually the same night after, because I wanted to watch another Spielberg movie, I watched Catch Me If You Can, also by Spielberg. Thought Leo put in an amazing performance. It was a great movie, just not as good as I expected. I was expecting like a 5 star. It ended up being 3.5. 3.5 still a good movie. It's the same I rated on Sunday. I gave Disclosure Day 3 stars. So nothing four or above in this past week. So not too many strong opinions. But I'll now pass it on to Yoni to give the movies that he's been watching.
Yeah, so I watched three movies also since last episode. I watched Disclosure Day in theaters also, which I'm very, very excited to talk about. I think it's going to be a really fun conversation. There's a lot of thoughts that I have, but we're not going to go too deep into it now. I watched John Carpenter's The Thing, which I thought was really great. I gave it a 4 star. It reminded me a lot of Alien. I thought it was a very similar plot, and I thought it was really memorable because of the location that the movie takes place in, which was really cool. It's kind of like a tundra. It's in Antarctica, and I thought that was a very, very nice decision. And also the thing itself, which is kind of like a horror monster, I thought was really, really visually cool looking, very scary, and very unique kind of horror monster. So I thought that was a really great movie. And then I also watched Wind River. I think Joseph and another one of my friends recommended it to me. And I thought it was great. It's kind of like a crime murder mystery movie with Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, and John Bernthal. And I thought it was just a really great movie. It was kind of grounded and it wasn't trying to shoot. It wasn't, it knew its role and it knew that it wasn't trying to shoot for that like absolute stars. It felt very comfortable with what it wanted to be. I thought it was a really great performance by Jeremy Renner, who's always great in everything. Elizabeth Olsen was really believable in her FBI role.
Yeah,
And
Hawkeye and Wanda.
yeah, yeah. And The Punisher coming soon and Brandy Day. Elizabeth Olsen, this is the best thing that I've seen her in. And I thought it was a really great movie. Also takes place in a snowy tundra location. And it was really great. There's kind of a point in the middle where you kind of find yourself coming to a realization in the second act of the movie, and it really hits hard. So, yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about Wind River and the Thing in particular. I'm gonna move on to what I saw, and I've also seen three since the last episode. The first one was Ratatouille, which technically not a first time watch for me. I saw it like a while ago when I was a kid, but I didn't really remember much about it. But I thought it was like such a honestly just a wonderful film, especially for a Pixar film. I think it's definitely one of Pixar's best movies. One of the things Yoni talked about when he was talking about Ratatouille in his underrated movies was the atmosphere, and I really enjoyed the Parisian atmosphere and the way that the movie just feels very warm. So that I really enjoyed that one. Then I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind from Spielberg from 1977, one of his earlier films, one of his early sci-fi films. It might actually be his first one. I don't know, but kind of in preparation for Disclosure Day. And I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. I thought the pacing was way off. I thought it was trying to take a slower approach to sci-fi, which I can respect. I just didn't think the way it was executed was great. And I also think that my biggest problem was I despised the main character. And it's not one of those scenarios where the main character is a bad person and the movie knows it's a bad person, like in There Will Be Blood. It's one where the movie is kind of rewarding the behavior of the main character when the main character, I don't think, was treated as kind of the bad person that they should have been. And so I didn't really enjoy that film, unfortunately for Spielberg. And then the final one I watched was Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I watched it last night. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was like one of the, honestly, one of the more entertaining movies you can see in your life. Like genuinely, it's so entertaining.
And you gave
It's
it 4 stars.
okay, 4 stars means it's a great movie. And also a movie, there's more things to a movie than entertainment. There was like one or two things I wasn't unsure about how much I liked it, but overall, I thought it was great and definitely something I would rewatch on a frequent basis, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I also posted reviews for all of those on Letterboxd if anyone wants to check them out because I go in a little bit more in depth, but
All
yeah.
right.
All right.
All right, sounds good. So now that we've gone all over those, we'll get into today's episode. Um, and once again, it's going to be superhero brackets. So we're going to have Yoni share his screen and we'll be back in just a second. All right, now Yoni has shared his screen. We have the bracket in front of us. Going to toss it to Yoni to give us some details on how this was sorted and so on.
All right, so this is a 32 seed superhero movie tournament across Marvel, DC, animated, etc. And these are 32 of the super movies that we think we want to discuss and think that should deserve a spot on this bracket. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we got our first matchup here. We'll start from the top and work our way down. The Dark Knight versus The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Can I start off this one?
So I think going into
I don't
this,
think there's
we should.
Wait,
anything.
wait,
You say start up. I don't think there's anything
okay,
to be
wait,
said.
let's make one thing clear. How we're doing this is the majority's going to vote, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
going to
saying
be a
I'm voting
best
for
two out of
Chasm 2
three.
here.
And if it really, really needs to go further, we can discuss further. But
No, no, I'm going to bring up a small discussion here, just a small. Just let me, please. Okay, so just so you know, it will be the majority votes, and all three of us are going to vote for The Dark Knight here. The Dark
yep.
Knight is one of my very few 5 stars. It's an amazing movie. I just have to say, TASM 2 is not one of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was not one of the highest rated letterbox movies. We put that there at the 32 seed, the final seed.
Bro,
And
you're
it's
lucky it
obviously
made
not
the
going to be one of the
bracket.
greatest movies ever, but it's nowhere near the worst film on this list, and it's by far, sorry, not by far, it is the most underrated Spider-Man movie. And both of the Amazing Spider-Mans, it's not a trilogy, but the duo of those two movies, I just have to put it out there just so everyone can know my opinion, is better than the original trilogy. Garfield is a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire, and I will stand on
But the
that.
movies aren't that good. So you can take that
And
out. The movies aren't that
they're
good.
visually stunning, which is my
No,
favorite
they're
part
really
about The
No,
not.
Amazing
they're
Spider-Man
not.
2.
They're
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 not
really
that
not
good.
beautiful.
visually stunning.
The swinging scenes are good, but the
The
visually
CGI
stunning.
looks shit in
It's
Spider in this
amazing.
in
It's
TASM
beautiful.
2.
Electro
Electro
was
looks like
beautiful in that
ass.
movie.
It has
That
some of
fight is
the
Also,
worst
amazing.
villains. It
yeah.
doesn't touch Toby's movies in any facet, but
No,
I do
they're
think in
better.
terms of who's the best Spider-Man, there's no wrong answer. I think they're all great Spider-Man.
Also, I just want to say
I don't
for
think you can say Garfield's like objectively better than Toby because
this
it's not really true.
this bracket, obviously it's sorted by letterbox, but the 32 movies were chosen by Yoni. So if you have disagreements with things that were like if do you think something was snubbed, that's not me or Adam's problem.
Yeah, it's completely
TASM
unbelievable.
2, if we were actually going by letterbox rating, would not be in this bracket and it wouldn't be close to this
No, I
bracket.
mentioned that. I said we
Yeah.
manufacturally. Yeah, we put
Yeah,
this
So
on
this movie,
purpose.
you're saying I think it shouldn't even be in the bracket.
Oh,
I
it
don't think
100% should be.
I think it should.
Letterboxd has completely underrated it, and we'll talk about The Dark Knight later as we go on. No need to mention it.
Okay. Dark Knight easily
Yeah,
passes
well, we'll talk
without a
about it
deal.
later when it comes to
Next, we have
next.
the original Spider-Man versus Dark Knight Rises. This is a good one.
This is a great debate, and I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm Team Dark Knight Rises, but I'm curious what you guys are, and then we can debate and see if we change anybody's
I'm
mind.
Team Spider-Man by a big margin.
I'm Dark Knight Rises by a good amount.
I think Spider-Man is
Dark Knight Rises is so much of a better made film with better dialogue,
I
and
disagree.
in my opinion, the better villain.
Joseph.
No, no.
Yes, Bane.
I think this
Yes.
is very close because I think I have both of these at like the same rating, but for me,
Here, let's debate, and then you can make your
I like
decision,
where
Joseph.
Spider-Man 1 ends, and I like where Dark Knight Rises ends, but I don't like
Wait,
the
let's discuss, and
climactic.
then you can make your final decision, okay? Because I just want to give some points.
You can
So the
give an
reason that
argument
I'm
if you
Dark Knight
want.
Rises is number one, I think Bane is the best character out of all these movies combined. I think he's
Why?
better than Spider-Man. I think he's better
Why?
than Batman. Let me
Why?
finish. He's better than Spider-Man. He's better than Batman. He's better than anything you can even mention. And here's why the way Tom Hardy delivers Bane's dialogue is so amazing. And it makes
He's
you
still
feel
not better than Willem Dafoe's
terrified. It
Goblin,
makes
though.
you feel horrified. And the fact, this is a spoiler, but I'm sure most people have seen The Dark Knight Rises. The fact that at one point he pretty much has beat Batman, like everyone thought it was like everyone knew Batman would win in the end. But the fact like at one point the Batman was completely defeated. I'm not saying The Dark Knight Rises is a perfect movie or is a perfect movie. It's definitely not, but it's easily worthy of going over Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's good. It's not on the level of a Christopher Nolan movie. It's just
Okay,
not.
can I go? Can I go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can make
Okay.
your case
For
now.
me, Spider-Man is it's probably the best origin story ever in terms of superhero movies. You can pick literally any scene from the movie, and it is an amazing comic book representation, and it is an amazing superhero movie moment. Literally every single part of the movie is very tight. It moves very fast. It's very efficient in what it shows. And Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is great. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin mirrors Spider-Man, where you kind of have the origin story of both of them going at the same time. Every scene in this is an amazing comic book scene. Tobey Maguire is a great Spider-Man. There's really not much wrong with the film. For me, it's a 4.5 stars. It's one of the best superhero movies
No,
ever.
no, no,
I
no, no.
mean, here's what
And
I will
Dark Knight
say.
Rises is really
I
good
know what I'm
also.
gonna
I
pick.
watched it recently. I think it's really good. Bane is great. I love Christian Bale's Batman. I think all of it's really good. It's a little bit messy at times. There's a little bit of plot holes where Batman kind of appears when he was in the bottom of the pit. It happens really fast. But I really do like The Dark
Because
Knight
he's
Rises. But I think
Batman. This is a superhero. You guys, this is a superhero ranking. He's
So
Batman.
I think
If
we
you want to
should.
critique it as a
Spider-Man.
Christopher Nolan film, you can give it that critique. If you want to critique it as a superhero film, that's an awful critique.
Here's what I would
Spider-Man as a
say.
superhero film easily is better.
Not even
Easily.
close.
No, Spider-Man is a better superhero film. But here's the thing,
It's
right?
nowhere near as well made as The
Here's the
Dark Knight
thing.
Rises.
Here's the
Nowhere
thing.
near.
Dark Knight, when I think of these two movies, again, I have them overall at a similar rating. One of the pro one of the things I think about that's like to me between the two movies is the most memorable is Defoe's Green Goblin. Like to me, that's
Hard
the
to
most
say.
memorable part and the best part of either of these movies. I also think Talia al Ghul is a terrible character, and she's a big part of The Dark Knight Rises, which
Catwoman.
hmm?
Catwoman's fine.
Catwoman's pretty good. I like Anne Hathaway's.
She's
Oh,
solid. I think she's good, but Talia al
kind of
Ghul is just not a
overpowered.
good character, and the acting is cringe. With her, I
I'm
forgot the name
sorry,
of it.
Spider-Man, or the original Spider-Man is very cheesy.
Yeah,
You want to talk about
But it's
cringy and
going for that,
cheesy? The
but it's
original,
intentionally campy, and also
but
Willem
but
Dafoe.
but
There's a difference.
not only is the CGI really
But
dated and it doesn't look good. By the way, Green Goblin suit looks awful. We can all admit that.
I don't agree with
It
that.
looks pretty bad. You can pull up a picture,
I don't
Yoni.
think it looks bad.
It looks rubbery.
I
Look it
watched
up.
this more recently than either of you, by the way. So,
Cruel. I remember it very well. His suit like bothered me when I first watched it. I'm like, this is awful. And that's obviously it's in 2002. It's different.
but
But it's much more cheesy than The Dark Knight Rises. So you can't say The
yeah,
Dark
but
Knight
the
Rises is
problem
cheesy.
isn't the cheesiness; it's the tonal contrast. The problem with The Dark Knight Rises is it's not trying to be that type of movie, and the acting from bro, I always forget her name. She's in Inception as well. I don't necessarily think she's a bad actor because I know obviously it's not her first language. I've just never really liked what she's been in, like her performances. I just think it's like the tonal. I also, again, if it's not clear, just because I said my favorite part of either of these movies is Defoe's Green Goblin, I'm picking Spider-Man.
He looks like a Power Ranger.
Great pick.
I
Spider-Man
mean,
movie.
it's a superhero. This is a superhero movie bracket as well.
I want
Great pick,
everybody at
Joseph.
home to comment because this is going to be one of our biggest debates. Whether you think Dark Knight Rises or Spider-Man is a better movie, put it down in the comments.
Yeah, put it down. I'm interested.
I think that's interesting. I think it's one of the closer matchups for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
people will be
This
split.
All
probably will
right.
be one of our closer debates, but I think you guys are very
The
right.
Batman or Deadpool and Wolverine.
This isn't
The
a
Batman,
contest.
Okay,
easily.
Not a contest.
This is
It's the
not a
this is
Batman.
a
contest. The Batman
We can
is
talk more
Batman.
about the
Batman.
Batman when it's actually in a real matchup, but this isn't a
Yeah.
yeah.
contest.
Okay.
Wait, we could
Next.
just quickly say Deadpool and Wolverine is a good movie. In my opinion, it's the second best Deadpool.
I
Um,
agree.
but
It was just really funny. It was
there's
kind of
nothing it can do against the Batman.
yeah. No, it's the Batman.
All right.
Infinity War or Guardians
Can we
2?
all agree this is the worst Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
Infinity.
do
I
really
mean,
like the
there's
movie.
nothing beats Infinity War in theaters. Seeing, I'm not even gonna say spoiler alerts. It's seeing
Yeah.
Thanos win was just sick. And then, I mean, there's just so many other moments, but seeing
All
Thanos win
right.
was sick.
Like I will also say one quick thing about Guardians 2 is I mean you'll maybe see later, I'm a big fan of the Guardians franchise and like I would have picked Guardians 2 over some of the other things we'll probably have it at least winning one round because
Uh-huh.
I know some people hate this movie.
I'm not a
Um
fan. I don't like Ego at all as a
I,
villain.
I actually really like it. I think it's pretty funny. I know some people think
It's
it goes over the
awful.
top, but I think it's pretty funny, so I like it.
I'm kind of
Unfortunate
mixed on
matchup.
Guardians too, but Infinity War
I'm
just
very excited
Yeah,
for that second
Infinity
round
War
matchup.
treaty.
I'm
all
very
right.
excited for that round for that Sweet
Yeah, that's
16 matchup.
good. Logan or Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange. Why
I
is
haven't
Doctor
seen
Strange so
Logan.
slow?
I
Doctor
think
Strange is so
Okay,
good.
I think
it's not
Logan is
so good.
significantly
It's pretty
better.
fucking generic. I can't
No,
lie.
not at all. The origin story of Doctor Strange being a doctor and then getting his hands and then also the final fight was pretty damn sick. We can admit
Nah.
that against
Eh.
It's fine.
Dormammu.
I
The
think
Dormammu
Logan
thing is cool.
Dormammu
significant.
was amazing.
Whatever. I forget the name of the villain. Again, I forget the name of the villain because
Dormammu.
he's no, not Dormammu. The Mads Mikkelsen character,
Yeah, I forget also.
the Dark Sorcerer guy. He is the most generic, and it's horrible because Mads Mikkelsen is a fantastic actor, and he's just taken and made a generic villain, which kind of sucks. But
For me, it's
I obviously I
We're
don't.
acting like Willem Dafoe's Green
I'm
Goblin
gonna
is generic.
abstain from this because I haven't seen Logan, and I don't have strong feelings about Doctor Strange. So.
All right, so it's me versus Yoni. I'm Doctor Strange. You're Logan.
all right. What do you have both rated at?
That's a good question. I'll check it out.
Because I have Doctor Strange at 3.5 and Logan at a strong 4.
I'll check right now. I have Doctor Strange at 4 stars, and I have Logan at 3.5. So we're literally the opposite.
Dude, I think it's just Logan by a
Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the exact argument that you made with Spider-Man vs. Dark Knight Rises, but in my opinion, the other way around. Logan is the better made film, but if we're talking superhero films, Doctor Strange is a better superhero movie. Logan is a better well-made movie. So I think if you're going to let Spider-Man advance over The Dark Knight Rises, you have to let Doctor Strange advance over Logan.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't think that's a one-to-one comparison, but
That's
I
a
see what you're
very,
saying.
very, very close comparison.
I
I
don't
don't
even
necessarily
really
think
think
so
Doctor
because I think the
Strange is that
quality.
great of a superhero movie.
It's a great superhero movie. Did you
It
watch
feels
it?
it
The
feels
problem with Doctor
relatively
Strange, I mean,
generic.
I'm abstaining unless you guys really need a tiebreaker, and then I'll just say some bullshit. But like Doctor Strange, I like the beginning of it, like you said, with his kind of origin story. I just feel like the middle,
The middle is the best part.
nah.
Him learning to be able to gain control
And
back.
then the second half isn't great. It's
No,
pretty fucking
the middle,
generic.
the first two acts are great. The third act, if you don't
I
like the
don't think so,
Dormammu
dude.
and in the city getting like retime, all that, I get that. The first two acts are the best part of the movie by a good
Logan
amount.
has so much of an emotional side to it.
I
Looking
didn't get
at a
that
lot of
impacted by
these
Logan.
looking at a lot of these seeds, it's maybe the most like it has the most emotion that it
I don't think it's
evokes.
that
I
emotional.
have a very soft spot in my heart for Logan.
I love Doctor
We're gonna move
Strange.
Logan through.
No, no, absolutely not. No.
I mean, if it's a tie, because I'm not voting, and then I think
Yeah,
maybe we should
you
just
have to
defer
go
to the
the
higher
opposite. If
seed.
you're gonna put Spider-Man over for a superhero villain, yes,
Those are
Logan.
No, but
completely
it's not.
different
That's
That's a
not the
conversations.
great
thing.
comparison.
Spider-Man is genuine.
I
Like
think Logan's a better superhero movie.
Oh,
I
you're a
think the story,
clown. Logan's not
I
even a
think it,
superhero movie. It's not.
so
This is
yes,
the number one film
Wolverine
on here. You could
is
argue
the
shouldn't be
main
on this list
character.
because it's barely a superhero movie.
Wolverine's the main character. Of course, it's a
Yes,
superhero
but
movie.
he doesn't do many superhero-like stuff in the movie. It's a movie about his emotional and background side. It's not about a superhero movie. It's different. You can say it's a better, well-made film, but this is
I
the
think
number
it's
one
better
movie
in
that
every.
shouldn't be
I
on
think
here
I
what
because
I
really
it's
think
will
a
it's
say
better
as
in
superhero
every
well
movie.
is
way.
like I haven't seen
I mean, Joseph, you haven't
Logan.
seen Logan.
No, I haven't seen Logan, but I'm saying you also watched Logan without having. You said you haven't watched any of the X-Men movies. I feel like
But it's
that
not
might have
about that.
impacted your experience.
I could have watched Doctor Strange without knowing anything else about Marvel. You don't need to know anything
Well,
else.
but I
No,
think Logan, you kind
you
of
can't
do
say
need.
that.
It's
Doctor
important
You
to know
Strange is
what's
a
100%
happening.
can.
Like
standalone.
This is the
that's kind of why
exact
I haven't
opposite of the
watched it. Is because I haven't watched
16-17
the X-Men
matchup.
movies
Doctor
yet.
Strange is a standalone story, and Logan, there's like 8 movies before that that actually impacts it. But in all honesty, I don't remember the X-Men movies that well.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Um,
I think we need to
I
get a
remember
move on
both movies.
here and just like
All right,
do.
All right, Tony, we're
Why
doing
don't
rock,
we?
paper, scissors.
Why don't I? Should I flip a coin?
No, we'll do rock, paper, scissors. One
It's kind
game.
of hard over screen, Joseph. Why
Yeah,
don't you?
let's go
I'll
for it.
flip a
No.
coin. I'll show it. I'll do it on my
But
phone.
by the way, if there was going to be a bigger star gap in our ratings, that movie would have moved forward.
Okay, so
Give me
um,
tails. I want tails.
you want tails?
I want
Okay, so
tails.
I'm gonna flip it now. Okay,
Yeah. Which one's tails? Which picture?
tails is the one that has the flame. It's heads. So
Logan moves
Logan
on.
moves on.
All right. It's probably
Oh wait,
getting.
it's getting mogged in the next round. We're good. Let's
No, either
go.
way, it was
Come
gonna lose in
on.
the next
I
Civil
mean,
round.
War's
Just
Doctor
gonna
because I
mog
Strange
in the
would have
next
got
round.
mugged
you
also.
Civil
All
War
right.
is gonna mog it in the next round. We're not worried.
Civil War is not making it to the next round.
I'm leaving this as Civil War doesn't make the next round. I'm
No,
leaving.
You can do that.
okay.
I'm
Civil
leaving.
I
War.
don't think Guardians 3 is that great. I think
It's
it's
the only good part about it is the emotional rocket part.
I
Civil War
think
is a
Guardians
five-star
3 is
movie, and it's the
much
best
better
movie
than
on this
Civil
list.
War.
I think
Actually,
Civil War
Dark
is
Knight might be
better.
better.
I think Civil War is better.
Yeah,
I
by
I
a
mean,
little bit.
you guys are gonna pick Civil War. My case for Guardians 3 is it's much more emotionally impactful.
I agree. That's the only thing it
I
has
think the
better.
villain is better in
No,
Guardians 3.
No.
Yes, High
No.
Evolutionary is better than
Zemo
Civil
is
War.
the best movie, the best villain
No,
behind Thanos in all of Marvel.
no.
Nope.
Yes.
That's not
He's not
true.
top five. You have like Vulture, Killmonger.
No, Killmonger has nothing on Zemo.
Civil War is moving on.
Yeah, easily.
Tell
All
me if you
right.
guys agree with that or not. I would prefer
Across the
Guardians 3, but
Spider-Verse or Homecoming, two great
this isn't
Spider-Man
close
movies,
either.
but
I have Homecoming, but I know you guys are going to choose
Across the
Across the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse
I'm just going
is
to give
one
my
of my
logic
favorite
for
movies
Homecoming.
ever.
Is his name Vulture?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, I
Villain?
think
the
Vulture's a
Villain is
great villain,
Vulture.
and
I agree. I think he's a
I
good
love
villain.
the
Yeah.
scene where he goes to take the daughter and then he's in the car. I love that scene.
Oh yeah, no. Homecoming I think is really great. I think it's kind of overhated. Everyone
Yeah.
hates it because Iron Man is so involved.
Yeah.
But
I've made my take on Across the Spider-Verse very clear. It's not a very good movie, but
I mean, you're
that's
not
what it
winning
is.
this
Yeah,
because
I
we're
know I'm
both
not
voting
winning.
for Across the
Obviously.
Spider-Verse. So
all right. No Way Home or Fantastic Four First Steps.
I'm
Remind
just
me
gonna
which one No Way
say
Home is. I don't. I'm bad at
I'm not a
this.
big fan of I'm not a big fan
Can
of
someone
either of
remind
the
me which
movies. I
one No
think
Way
they're
Home is?
similar.
It's the
Like I
one
kind
with
of
all
like them, but I
three.
also have
It's the one
problems.
with all three Spider-Mans, the live
Oh,
action
the
one.
fan
Yeah.
service one.
I've
Mm,
Um,
heard, oh my God, this actually is really
this
hard.
this
is
is really
tough
tough.
again for me, like I said, just because I don't have a very strong opinion on
I
either
don't
of
have one
those, to be
either.
honest.
Yoni, I know you really like Fantastic Four, so you can put it
I
through.
like Fantastic Four, but the highs in No Way Home are just so much better. I mean, the scene where all of them are talking on the rooftop, or when they're all talking, when it's about to, right before they're about to fight, or that all of them swinging together,
I'm
that
Team Fantastic
that
Four
was
here.
one of the
I'll be
best
honest.
theater experiences ever for me, especially as a big Spider-Man fan.
It was
But
cool, but
Fantastic
I don't like a
Four,
multiverse aspect. I don't like.
Fantastic Four is definitely the better movie and maybe even the better superhero movie.
I
But No Way
probably
Home has
also would
all
lean
three.
towards Fantastic Four if I had to pick between
I'd
these.
lean Fantastic Four, but if you have a strong for No Way Home, I'm not going to debate you.
I have Fantastic Four higher in my Marvel list, but I definitely think you could go either way with this. But I'm gonna also pick Fantastic Four. It's just No Way Home has some huge problems. The way that we
Yeah.
got all three Spider-Man, the way that we got all the villains
Nah.
on screen together just made no sense. Doctor Strange, like, it just didn't act like
Yeah. And
Doctor
there's
Strange
just
should
some
have.
cringy lines in that movie,
The
honestly.
first act is awful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but definitely a very memorable
Mm.
All right.
experience.
Top half of the bracket
All
done.
right. The Incredibles or Far From Home?
Is Far From Home Mysterio?
Yeah.
Yep.
Far From Home.
Incredibles.
Okay, this
Far
is
From Home.
easy. This is
It's The
easily the
Incredibles.
I'm
And
going
The
to make a
Incredibles
strong
isn't
debate
even
here.
one of my
I'm going to make
The
a strong
Incredibles.
debate here. Mysterio is not only he's Spider-Man's biggest challenge
He's
over
not a better
Green
villain than
Goblin, over
Syndrome.
Doc Ock, over Vulture. Mysterio is the strongest challenge ever to
He's also
Spider-Man.
not a very good villain.
He's still the
Yeah.
strongest challenge ever to
I don't
Spider-Man.
care. He's not a very good villain.
No. He's the
It's The
strongest challenge
Incredibles
ever.
easily.
Yeah.
He
I'm not
literally
even one of
outed
the people
Spider-Man
who
to the
has
world.
I that's cringe. I don't like that part.
No, it's not.
I don't even like the
I
like
don't
I
like
like
The
The
Incredibles.
Incredibles a
I'm just
fair
gonna put it
bit.
out
I
there.
think it's a very good movie. It's not even necessarily one of my top Pixar movies. It's definitely my top 10. I don't know. It's probably like borderline in my top 5 Pixars, but a lot of people have it as like their number one. I still
This
think
should
it's
be
much
Far
better
From
than
Home.
Far From Home though.
This
So
should be Far From Home.
Yeah, I think it's better than Far From Home. I love The Incredibles. I think on my Pixar, it's maybe like top five, top
I don't even
six.
think I rated it on Letterboxd because I watched it so long ago. It's like it's just so forgettable.
Um,
Far From Home is like
Far
the
From Home
definition
is
of
kind of
forgettable.
No, it's not.
forgettable
Mysterio's the
also.
most memorable one because he's the closest to beating
No.
Spider-Man. You
Mysterio
could
is not
argue
I
the
he
don't
most
beat
I
him.
don't
memorable
agree at all
one.
with
You
that
could
way of
argue he
judging
beat him
villains.
by
I
outing him
don't
to the
agree with that all
world.
with that way of judging villains. His motive sucks. He has
Again,
arguably the worst
according to
motivation of
you, every
any.
villain doesn't have to
He
have some
arguably has
crazy
the worst
backstory.
motive, not only of any Spider-Man villain, of any MCU villain, in
And
my opinion.
according to
His
Joseph
motive is
Eden, in his own
horrible.
words on this podcast, when arguing for Calvin Candy, not every villain has to have some crazy, cool
Yeah,
backstory.
but they
We're
tried to
not.
give him one. That's the
But
problem.
that
If they
doesn't
give,
mean
yes,
anything.
it does. If they
No,
give
it
him a
doesn't.
shitty ass motive and backstory,
We're
He's
talking
he,
about
he's
his
the he's
mo
the best
Adam.
challenge, and he's the only one that ever beat Spider-Man. End of
We're
discussion.
talking about his motivations, not his backstory. The fact that Mysterio doesn't have like a crazy
his
backstory is not Joseph's
his
critique. It's the fact
motivation
that he's
is
another
basically
generic
relating to
Iron
Iron
Man
Man
villain.
after Iron Man's dead. After we've seen that shit with Vulture already. Basically, it's a rehash on Vulture's
It's
motivation,
not
but
a rehash on Vulture at all,
it's a rehash on that he's targeting Spider-Man because of Iron Man, pretty
and
much.
Yeah,
and he still does a
Mysterio, I
great
think
job of it.
is a good Spider-Man villain. He's fine. The Mysterio scenes where Peter is having to deal with the Mysterio illusions are really, really
The
good.
best scene in these movies combined is the scene where he's dealing with the illusion.
No,
Easily better than any
Mm,
scene in The Incredibles.
I don't agree with that.
no.
Give me a better one then.
The scene with Syndrome, like the first kind of introduction of Syndrome scene,
That's so
when
mid.
Bob goes into like the lair.
I'm not
When
gonna
he's
like.
running with the black
I
like
don't want to spend too much time on this because
Yeah.
I don't feel as
yeah.
strongly about this as I do on The Dark Knight Rises, but it's just a bad take from you guys.
Okay.
Okay, this next one isn't a conversation in my
Iron
opinion.
Man.
It's Guardians of the
It's
Galaxy.
Guardians.
Not even close.
No,
No,
I'm a
it's
huge Guardians
Guardians.
fan. It's Iron Man.
It's Guardians, it's not even
Iron Man's,
close.
you want to talk about a superhero movie? Iron Man is
Guardians of the
the
Galaxy.
superhero movie. He gets trapped
Guardians
in
of
a
the
cave,
Galaxy.
builds his way out,
Both of
blasts.
them don't have a great villain. Guardians has much better characters.
Oh
It's
no,
much
Guardians is
funnier.
better written and it's more funny. Iron Man is the definition of a
Guardians
superhero.
is better, is funnier, better characters, more emotional. Both villains are pretty mid, to be honest, but I
And
prefer
Iron Man
Ronan.
is the superhero movie. You want
It's
to talk about
Guardians.
something being sick? Iron Man is the superhero movie.
No, Guardians
It's
is
Oh,
Guardians.
come
much,
on. You
much
can't have a
better.
superhero movie list and not have Iron Man advance.
No,
Well, these
it's
are
just
all
not better
superheroes.
than
It's
Guardians.
just a
It's unlucky.
bracket.
Maybe it would have advanced in different matchups. It's just unlucky
Adam,
that
these
it was
are, it's not
Guardians.
like we're not judging
You
this
guys want
for
and
matchups.
you want to advance Spider-Man because it's a cool superhero movie, but you want to put Guardians
No,
over
that's not.
Iron
Again,
Man?
We're
you're
judging
Guardians
the
objectively
oversimplifying our
has
matchups based
better
argument.
off
That's
of the
not
writing,
the
and
better
Iron
reason
Man's
movie.
the
we
better
have Spider-Man
superhero
winning.
movie.
Spider-Man has
You
the
guys are the
best
definition
performance
of
between the two
contradictory. It's
films
crazy.
easily.
Very hypocritical.
No, Adam,
No,
we're
it's not.
judging we're making the matchups based off of what's the better movie. These are all superhero movies.
Okay, so you want to do better movie? The Dark Knight Rises is way better
Spider-Man
than
is
Spider-Man.
still a better
The
movie.
Dark Knight
Spider-Man is a
Rises is
better
a way
movie.
better movie than Spider-Man,
No, it's
objectively.
not.
Spider-Man's a better movie.
You're so
All right,
wrong.
speaking of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 or
Age of
Age of
Ultron, and it's
Ultron.
not close.
I have Spider-Man
It's
2 again.
Age of
I have
Ultron, and it's
Spider-Man
not
2,
close.
even though I'm not like as high on it as some other people. I still thought it was pretty good, and it's better than Age of Ultron. So
Yeah, I think Spider-Man 2 is definitely better. It feels kind of like an exact rehash of Spider-Man 1, if
And
I'm
that's
being
exactly why it's nowhere near Age of Ultron.
except
Age
Age
of
of
Ultron
Ultron is
isn't that good
this
original
though.
idea.
movie shows the struggles of being Spider-Man better than any
This movie
movie.
Yeah.
shows the struggles of being a superhero in general by having to sacrifice an entire village.
It's Spider-Man 2.
Ultron is one of the best villains in all of
there's a
superheroes.
reason people only talk about like the beginning scenes in Age of Ultron with like them at the part like lifting the hammer and the ending. It's because the middle sucks.
Incorrect. You couldn't be more wrong. Ultron's rise to superiority is amazing.
No. I do like what's his name? Is it James Spader? I think he plays
The guy that's really
Ultron. I do
fast.
like
I
his
don't know
voice
his name.
performance a lot. I think it's really good, but
All right,
his movie in
I'm just going
general
to
is
say
bad.
one thing here. This is something all of you viewers are going to come to learn. These people are very performative because Spider-Man 2 is widely
How?
known to be good. They're like, I can't put Age of Ultron, which is a known to be
We
mid.
literally just picked
They're
Guardians over
very
Iron
they
Man.
love going with what the popular consensus, and you guys are going to learn that. Almost every take they'll agree with the popular. They'll almost never have a unique
That's
take.
not
You'll learn
true.
that very soon.
I
And
think
go
the
ahead and watch
popular would
back
go
every
Age of
podcast we've
Ultron
had.
here.
They've never had an original take in their lives. You'll see.
Adam, I think the
What?
popular would go Age of
Bro, the
Ultron.
first one of the
Not
first
at
takes I
all.
had was
There's
how
a reason
I wasn't a
Spider-Man
fan
2
of
is
this
the sixth
classic
highest ranked
Spielberg movie
Superman
that I
movie
watched
ever
that a
on
lot of people
Letterboxd.
consider a
The public
masterpiece.
loves it. You guys have never
Uh,
had an original take.
I literally said in like one of my first takes in
This
this
is
episode,
awful.
I wasn't a fan of a classic Spielberg movie that a lot of people consider a sci-fi masterpiece. I said I
That's
didn't like
not
the
what I
movie.
mean when I say the popular.
that is
Nobody
exactly
even
what you
cares
mean.
about that movie. I didn't even know that movie existed.
Yeah, because you don't have ball knowledge.
Of course I don't. This coming from the guy that put Spider-Man 2 over Age of Ultron.
I mean, Spider-Man 2's you know where actually I think I said this to Yoni. Obviously off camera when I was talking about this Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1 are really close for me because I think Spider-Man 2 does pretty much everything else better than Spider-Man 1 except for the villain. I
So
clearly
incredibly
prefer Green
made.
Goblin over Doc Ock. I know some people like Doc Ock more, but I think
Also,
Green
Spider-Man
Goblin's
2
way
has the
better.
train scene. That's an
Yeah,
amazing.
that's a great scene. And when he's
That's one of
getting
the best
passed through
superhero
the
battles. That's such a good scene.
um I think MJ is also a lot better in this one.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Batman Begins or Deadpool? It's Batman Begins for me.
It's
It
easily
is, but
yeah, it's
I
just
do really
beautiful.
like the original Deadpool as
Batman
well.
Begins, move it on.
Yeah,
I
I,
like
I
I
it is
like
Batman Begins.
Deadpool also, but I think it's
Yeah.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, we're
I
all
think
in
the first
agreement.
hour of Batman Begins is just like amazing.
Yeah.
Him becoming Batman and training with Ra's al Ghul is just like outstanding. Then it kind of slows down a little bit with Scarecrow. Scarecrow's fine, kind of
Yeah.
forgettable. Um,
This is much closer than you'd think because as a cinema movie, nothing beats as an
I don't hate
in-game
that take.
as a yeah, as an in-movie experience, nothing beats Endgame, but as a movie in a vacuum, I might take the first Avenger. There's so much going on in Endgame that shouldn't have happened. I
I
have
have
so many
so
critiques of
many
Endgame,
I have
and I,
so many problems with Endgame and not so many problems with the first Avenger, but
that's what I'm saying.
the highs in Endgame,
I
bro.
Yeah,
know, I know.
it's
That's why
hard.
I'm
I
not mad
think
if you guys
I
put Endgame, but
agree
I'm
that
Team First Avenger here.
If Endgame was against a movie I had a stronger opinion on, I like First Avenger, but not like a huge amount.
I'm a
I think
big
it's
fan of the first
overall
Avenger.
good, but like
I
not that
love
good.
the Red Skull. I love
We
it.
might have Avengers Endgame losing first round, but I think I would give it to Endgame to be honest.
Yeah.
I have
I
First
mean,
Avenger. Yoni, you're the tiebreaker.
it's Endgame.
I'm not going to debate that heavily because Endgame is
Yeah.
Endgame. Seeing that in theaters was unmatched. But in my
Yeah.
opinion, the first Avenger is the better
You can
movie.
make that argument. Like
And
that's
no,
Yeah,
not
I
a
don't have a
and I would
problem
just
with
like to
that.
say this proves exactly what I was saying earlier. You guys want to choose the better superhero movie with the cooler moment instead of the better movie, but when it goes the other way, you want to say which like
No, that's just because I don't think
it's so
either of them is good. Like
contradictory.
I have them both, I think at a
It's crazy.
3.5
You guys are
maybe.
just
So it's
flip-flopping
like
the whole time.
no, the thing is there's a difference between when a movie is one
When
is
it suits
clearly
you,
better.
there's a difference.
No.
Uh-huh.
Dude, what are you talking
Just
about?
you guys have been flip-flopping this whole episode. Anyone watching will realize it.
I
Okay.
don't think that makes any sense, dude.
Okay, sure. Winter Soldier or Black Panther?
Winter Soldier.
It's Winter Soldier, but I think the pendulum on Black Panther has swung a little bit too far the other way, whereas a lot of people shit on the movie nowadays, where I know the CGI doesn't look great, especially in that last fight, but I do really like the movie, and I think it is very good. Um,
I
I have
think the
Winter
Winter Soldier is
Soldier
one of my
also.
favorite
I agree though,
superhero
so I
movies
have
ever.
Winter Soldier for
I
sure,
think I
but
have it in my elite tier, 4.5 and above. It's that good.
Okay. Enter the Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 3?
this isn't a
I
conversation,
don't
so
like either of these movies, so you guys can
Into the
choose.
Spider-Verse is much
Into the
better.
Spider-Verse easily, but once again, I think Spider-Man 3 is underrated.
Why is Thor Ragnarok this lowly rated? I'm shocked on
It's
that.
not that, dude. That's like it probably has like a 3.8.
That's
Okay. The Avengers or Thor Ragnarok? I think it's
Ragnarok by a
This
good
is
amount.
very hard for
I
me,
think
I
it's
don't
the
actually.
like the
Avengers.
Avengers that much. I don't like the Loki type of vibe. I
I
like
like the
the end
Avengers
credit
more.
scene with Thanos, and that's about it.
There's so
What
much
Yoni, what do you
like
think? I'm curious because I
that.
might have to be the tiebreaker because I have
I
them
think it's
very
Ragnarok
close.
by a good amount. I think
I think they're
Ragnarok's so much
close.
better.
Um, I think the Avengers though.
I'm
See,
just also trying to think
here's what I'll
what
say this.
movie.
If you're indifferent and I'm so strong about Ragnarok and you think it's
I'm
barely
not
Avengers,
necessarily
then we
indifferent.
just go with
I'm
Ragnarok.
just kind of going through my thoughts.
I've given you guys like every
I
single other one.
I think that when I think about a superhero movie, I think there's a lot of things that you have to factor in. But one of them, because superhero movies as a genre, they're not necessarily going to be the most like powerful in terms of like emotional genres or genres that like are super deep. One of the things that you do value, in my opinion, even though I don't necessarily agree with this as like something to have as
This is
like
him
a
again. He cares about what other people think, not what he agrees with. Who cares what
If
other
you let me
people think?
finish,
You
if
should
you
rank a
didn't
movie
even
on
let me
what you agree
finish,
with.
can I finish? Jesus, dude. I'm saying I don't necessarily agree with when people say like you have to value rewatchability because I think first watch is really important. But for superhero movies, I feel like rewatchability is important to me, and that's why I think I would prefer Thor Ragnarok actually.
Okay, here we go. Round of 16, The Dark Knight versus Spider-Man 2002. Now, before we get into this, because we're all going to have the same answer here, I do think that this is closer than you think. I think that this is Spider-Man is the best origin story of all time. It has also a great villain and a great performance by Willem Dafoe. But
A great performance with a villain.
The Dark Knight just overpowers it. I can't
I
really say anything
agree.
else.
Shout out
I,
Spider-Man, but it's the
Yeah,
Dark Knight.
Spider-Man, you have a special place in my heart, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to fall subject to the Dark Knight.
all right,
Uh,
this one's a good one.
all right,
This is
The
actually a very good
Batman
one.
or Avengers Infinity War.
All right, I think we start by admitting that, and I don't really have a strong opinion either way, so I don't really care. But I think we can admit Infinity War is like not as well made as the Batman because the Batman wasn't like a, you know what I mean? It has like cooler shots, better cinematography, and arguably better dialogue, even though Infinity War has some cool quotes. Whereas Infinity War has unbelievable pacing. I think it has better pacing than the Batman. There's always something going on, and that's because they had 30 or however many movies building up, so much to touch on. I think the Batman was a bit slow at times, which is what held it back for me. But it just the soundtrack. I'm leaning Batman, but the only reason I'd be fine with Infinity War is because the pacing is so much better.
I'm actually leaning towards Infinity War here. Again, it's pretty close, but I feel like Infinity War is one of those movies where, yes, like you could say there's other movies like the Batman that are better made, or you can say are more nuanced in the way they portray like superheroes or whatever. But I think Infinity War was such a culmination of the MCU, like whether even though it was kind of hit and miss for a lot of the movies leading up to it, I just think it delivered in pretty much like the best way possible. Like I think if you look back at Infinity War and Endgame, I don't think Endgame has aged great outside of like the movie theater experience, where I think Infinity War has aged pretty well. I think again, like unlike Endgame, I think Infinity War actually is a very well-paced movie, very like incredibly well-paced movie,
Yeah.
and the moments I think still hold up as well. So I'd
I would
probably lean
argue
Infinity War,
Infinity
but
War, even though I'm choosing the Batman here, is maybe one of the best paced movies ever, just because almost every single time it cuts somewhere, I'm engaged the whole time I'm watching Infinity War. I'm never not locked in.
Yeah, it's extremely engaging. So I'm gonna go Infinity War also, and I
That's
just want
fair.
to make the point: the consensus majority of people here would go the Batman. So the argument that you've been making, where like
That's not
Joseph and I
true.
are just picking like the most popular, the Batman is easily
It's
by
not true. The
majority the most
consensus would choose
popular.
Infinity War here.
What?
The
depends on
consensus.
what you're defining as consensus. What you've defined as consensus is like the film bros or like the more like
These are 8 and 9 in terms
no,
of
but
they're
I'm
back
saying
to back in
what you've
Letterboxd.
been saying, like we're picking like we're being performative by picking like more movies that are less like superhero-y, except we just picked
That's not true. I
the
chose Dark Knight Rises over Spider-Man because
but
you chose the more superhero-y movie.
but
What are
then
you
you said we're being
talking
hypocritical.
about?
You were basically saying that the consensus of like the film bros is what we were going with, but the consensus of the film bros is what you just went with the Batman, which again, there's no problem with, but we
Not
went
at all.
against
I
it, so
chose
I
The
don't
Dark Knight
understand your
Rises over
argument.
Spider-Man. You guys were the ones that advanced it.
All right, Logan or the Civil War?
You guys know my opinion. It's Civil War by a mile, but
I
I
mean,
like
I
to.
haven't seen Logan, so I'm fine with Civil War moving on. It's gonna get
Um,
stomped in the next round anyways, so
yeah, it is gonna get stumped,
No, it's not.
but uh, I think Logan's better. I truly do.
I'll go Civil War because I haven't seen Logan. And I do think Civil War is a good movie.
Very good.
Okay, I was hoping that we could get it to a coin flip there, but
I'll let Civil War move on.
because it is one of Adam's favorite movies, I'm not gonna really argue for it, but I want you to maybe consider doing the same for me in later rounds, okay? So just saying that.
Okay, okay.
We can go Civil War. I think it's a bit unfair that Joseph's picking Civil War instead of Logan, but
I haven't seen Logan.
I
Yeah.
know, but you held out on the on Doctor Strange
because
for
I don't have a strong like I think Civil War is better than Doctor Strange.
Oh, by a good amount.
Yeah, so I think,
no Logan versus Doctor Strange because you hadn't seen Logan.
but that wasn't the only reason. The other reason
He
was
said it's
because
because he doesn't really care
I
about
didn't
Doctor
really care
Strange.
about Doctor Strange. I think Civil War is like pretty good, like
Okay.
overall.
No, I think Civil War is. I have it as a 4 star, so I have
So,
both at
and
4.
also because like, I think we want to see Adam talk
Yeah,
about
I'm
Civil
gonna
War.
cook across the
When
Spider-Verse. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
because I mean, speaking of Across the Spider-Verse, I think me and Yoni are both picking Across the Spider-Verse here.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.
Um, what was
Set
I
up the
gonna say?
matchup.
I don't remember Logan that well. I have to rewatch it. But I would pick Logan here by a smidge. Okay, Across the Spider-Verse or Fantastic Four, Across the
We will
Spider-Verse.
so
Across the
be there in the fuck.
Spider-Verse.
We will be there in the Elite Eight.
And you wait, so I assume you would have picked Fantastic Four over it, Adam.
Um, I actually think I had Fantastic Four at 3.5 and Cross the Spider-Verse at 3, so I would have given it the nod. But again, it's like a half a star difference, not that big of a difference to me.
Okay, The Incredibles or Guardians of the Galaxy.
I have the Guardians.
Um,
I think it's beautifully written. It's not better than Iron Man, but it's definitely better than
It
The
is.
Incredibles.
I would go
But
Guardians
I
also.
also will go Guardians. And The Incredibles like tough matchup, unlucky
Guardians
here,
is
but
hilarious, man.
Guardians I think is the better film and um yeah.
Okay,
Run
all
it
right.
back from Dark Knight Rises versus Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 or Batman Begins.
It's Batman Begins. I mean, come
What do
I
you
have
think?
Spider-Man 2
on.
I am gonna go with Batman Begins.
okay.
See, this is I always believed in you, Joseph. I always
Because
believed.
I think Batman Begins. I think this is the thing, why I chose Batman Begins over
Are you
Spider-Man, but
not
I
a fan of
chose.
Dark Knight Rises in comparison to the rest of the
I think
trilogy?
Batman Begins is definitely better than Dark Knight Rises, and I think Spider-Man 1 and 2 are on a similar level. So
Huh.
I prefer Batman Begins, and I like this is kind of a hot take. I kind of like Ra's al Ghul on the same level as Bane, and I think the rest of the movie is like definitely better in Batman Begins, and doesn't have the Talia al Ghul problem. So
Yeah.
I prefer Batman Begins.
I just
No,
think
I
the
think
origin story in Batman Begins is like
it's
better
so
than
great.
Spider-Man. Like it's
I
just
don't
it's
think
that
it's,
good of
I
a
think
movie.
they're very, very, very close, but I
It's
think
so
Spider-Man's a little bit
it's so
better.
sick. But
Um,
yeah.
okay, I'm fine with that. I have it. Spider-Man 2 is a half star better. It's okay. Avengers Endgame or Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier slams for me.
This is easily Winter Soldier.
I think Black Panther is a harder matchup than Endgame.
I agree. I think Black Panther's a better movie than Endgame as well. So
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I gotta give Winter Soldier a rewatch. I don't remember it that
I
well.
would rewatch it. It's a
I
very
couldn't
good
really
movie.
have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Winter Soldier. Into the Spider-Verse or Thor Ragnarok. I mean,
It's Ragnarok for me, but I know you guys are
everyone
gonna
knows
go.
I
my
mean,
vote.
I really like Ragnarok. It's definitely like probably borderline top five MCU for me, but
It's
it's
so
Into the
good.
Spider-Verse because
Yeah, you
that's
guys have an affection for those films, man.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. All
The
right,
Elite Eight's gonna have some good discussions,
here we
man.
are, top 8
The Elite Eight, guys.
quarterfinals.
All right, is
The
this where we
Dark
first
Knight.
start discussing The Dark Knight? Because it just slammed
I
it.
think it's worthy of a discussion here, even if we end up having a similar outcome to
All
previous
right,
ones.
discussion, Heath Ledger Joker, moving on.
I don't really know if there's much of a discussion needed, but
Well, I feel like we got to respect Endgame. I mean, not Endgame, Infinity War a
It's
little.
such a cool movie. I can see why you want to have a discussion here.
yeah,
The Dark
so
Knight's
it's
just
great. I kind of have a problem with Infinity War where Thanos is a little underpowered.
he won.
No, I know, but I feel like he really shouldn't be losing a fight on the planet with Iron Man, Spider-Man, Drax, and like
Well, he
Mantis.
won because
He
of
has at
stupid
the
Peter
time like
Quill.
what 3 stones? How
So
many
you
stones
think
does he have on
you
that?
think that it shouldn't have been that close of a fight on the.
Yeah, I really don't. I think that they're really kind of underestimating the power of these Infinity Stones. Like,
But we saw him use all three stones and they countered them. They gave
no, I know, but
explanation.
I'm saying I think these, if he has a reality stone, reality should really just be like, boom, Spider-Man like is like gone for a period of time or something. Or like, what else does he have? Times, he uses the time
He didn't
stone
have the time stone yet.
effectively. But like the space stone, I mean, he used it once where he pulled like
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it was turned into butterflies. It was a portal and it was
meteor.
turned into
I
butterflies.
think that it's really hard because the Infinity Stones are so ridiculously
It's
powerful
crazy Doctor Strange could just
individually.
counter it like that. But that's like my one issue with the entire.
Yeah,
It's
no,
such
that's like kind of my one. That's kind of my issue. But like Marvel has that kind of issue in general, where like you have such powerful like creatures and beings, and it's
Yeah.
hard to kind of put them on the screen and in scale with one another.
I
But
think I think one of the things for me that might hold this back, Infinity War for being like a 5 star, like I think I have it as 4.5.
Me too.
It's like I think this is also ties into Civil War, but I don't like that the Civil War basically is irrelevant. They
I don't like that. That's
basically
another, yeah. Civil War.
LARP about
yeah, but
being
also
upset at
like they
each
kind of
other
have no
for
other
like a little
choice.
bit at the beginning, and
Thanos is coming. They
yeah,
have
but that basically like Civil War has no long-term implications for the MCU.
That is you two pretty much mentioned my issues with the film, so I'm on board.
yeah. What do you think is like the least interesting plot in Infinity War?
I wouldn't even say there's a non-interesting plot. I mean, you could say the beginning when they visit Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner says Thanos is coming. I mean, I guess
No, it's a good plot.
it's a good plot. I guess
The
there's
New
not.
York
There's
fight
not.
is really good.
You could
What
say
about
one.
like
What's his
Thor
name?
getting
I don't know.
Stormbreaker?
I don't know what his name is, but Thanos is like minion dude that's tall comes to Earth.
Ebony Maw?
Yeah, and he
Ebony
faces
Maw's
Iron
good.
Man. It's,
Ebony
it's
Maw
just
kind
so
of like
hard to pick.
That's a good ass part of the movie though, in my opinion.
Maybe and like yeah, there's Gamora.
Stormbreaker, like
Yeah, no, it's
Thor
just so
like
good.
getting Stormbreaker. Maybe I don't really know.
Maybe, but I've never thought that is like a problem.
I
This is also
guess yeah. If you had to choose one that was like I was least engaged during, I'd probably choose.
Also, like the hype going into Infinity War, as how old were we? Like 13,
Yeah,
12.
12.
That was crazy.
it was sick. I just wish I could have seen Dark Knight in theaters, man, because the Dark Knight is so good.
Yeah, okay, it's the Dark Knight that's moving
Yeah,
on.
it is.
Civil War or Across the
All right,
Spider.
here we go. All right,
All right.
I'm just gonna say
You got
it.
to do a lot of work here if you
You
want
know,
this
no,
to be
I'm gonna
close.
say it. First of all, at the end of the day, there's a very low chance Civil War advances. But I'm gonna give you all the reasons why Civil War is so much better than Across the Spider-Verse.
Please go ahead.
One, dynamics. There is not a single dynamic in Across the Spider-Verse that matches the Avengers being split over the government. Not a single
Already
one.
wrong.
That
No,
is not, that's
Already
not
no,
true.
wrong.
no,
It's not true.
no, not at all. Second, Across the Spider-Verse has this it it has the problem of being animated. I hate to say it. It has the
That's
problem
not
of
a
being animated.
problem.
Once
That's a
again,
problem.
wrong.
It objectively is.
No, that's not
For
objectively
me,
a
it's
problem.
objectively for sorry, I
You're
only put
Adam, you're
objectively.
0 for 2 right now.
For me, being animated means that you cannot show the emotion that the actors in Civil War show, and Civil War is so well at portraying the emotional side of the split of the Avengers that we had been seeing for years, and it does it perfectly. Zemo is also I don't even remember the villain of Across the
So
Spider-Verse
that's just
that
your problem
well.
because Spot is a fantastic villain.
He was
And not
irrelevant.
even a
Zemo
villain,
And
is
you
but
so
like
have
much
an
better.
antagonist, Spider-Man 2099 is
yeah, he's
Zemo
like
is
an
so
anti-hero,
much
you can
better.
say.
The
uh
villain's
No, I
better.
don't agree with that.
Across the Spider-Verse is
Nah.
animated, and the
Nah,
dynamic.
Across the Spider-Verse looks 100 times better. Civil
No.
War does not look good. It's gray as hell. Across the Spider-Verse has so many vibrant scenes, like when they're
Yeah,
in
and they're all animated. They're not real.
that
Mumbattan. You
doesn't
know
I
the
don't
scene in
understand
Mumbattan,
the
Yoni?
argument.
They're
You
not
could even
real.
argue
They're animated.
you could make
Doesn't
the
it being
argument that
animated doesn't
If
mean
animated
you
is
want to
not
be a good
real.
film, you can be animated. If you want to compete with a five-star film like Civil War, you can't
Civil
be
War is not a
animated.
5-star film. That's the problem. It's a
Yes,
three
it
and a
is.
half star film.
I
I would
mean,
even
I
I
know
feel
I'm
like
not
you
going to
could
win this
make the
argument,
argument.
but I hope there are people out there that agree with me because Civil War is just on another level of
I
Across the
feel like you could
Spider-Verse.
make the
Five stars
argument
versus
that
3 stars.
animation can evoke more emotion than live action with
Not
its
even close.
colors and
Not
So
even
I have a
so many
question. Do you
close.
think
different
it's
things.
just like do you think Tenet is more emotional than like Up
Oh, I don't. I'm
or
not
like
saying,
Finding
but
Nemo?
both are emotional. In when we're comparing these two,
Tenet's
they're
not
both
emotional,
emotional
dude.
films. Tenet's not meant to be an emotional film. Tenet's
Okay,
supposed to
I
be a
think it tries
complex,
with
amazing
the
plot film.
cat arc.
What?
I think it tries with cat.
It does not try. Doesn't really care about the emotions. It cares about the
is
plot and the time aspect. Why are we even
Joseph,
mentioning Tenet
is
here?
I'm just
Across the
saying, like, what at
Spider-Verse
what
okay?
point is a movie like
By the way,
you're
Tenet's
basically
more of a
saying there's a
superhero movie
ceiling?
than Logan is. Just gonna put it out there.
That is not true in
Yes,
the
it is.
slightest. It does
Yes,
not
it
have a
is.
single mainstream superhero character. That is an awful
It's a
take.
great take.
That's
You said
horrible.
Tenet is more of a
It's more of a
superhero movie?
superhero movie than Logan
How
is
is Tenet a superhero
because
It
movie?
there's
has
more supernatural
Wolverine.
abilities.
That's not what a superhero movie is.
I don't care.
We're
I
gonna
have
clip
Civil War
that.
by a
That's gonna be
mile, by
cool.
2 stars, in my opinion. None of you have that big of a difference, but again, you're gonna
But we
choose.
both prefer Across the Spider-Verse, so
It's gonna get slammed in the
and I
next
don't think it's
round.
that close, so
Yeah,
I don't
across the
know
I
if it's
street.
going
mean,
to get
you clearly do
slammed
because you have a
because
one and a
Yoni's
half
going to.
difference. I have a two difference, but
I have a I have a 1 star difference,
I
but
hate Across the Spider-Verse way more than you guys hate Civil War.
That cool. That's not what we're basing it by.
Okay, go for it.
okay.
God, that might be the biggest lopsided semifinals in the history of a bracket. Wow.
This
Yeah, it's not even close.
that's not remotely true. Okay, moving on. Uh Guardians of the Galaxy or Batman Begins? I have Guardians.
See, I think Guardians should have been first rounded, but I have it in the semifinals here.
I have it in the
I
semifinals,
have
and it is
Guardians
going
over
to
Batman
be.
Begins,
I
but it
don't
should
know
have been
for
first
sure, but
rounded.
I'm going to say it. Guardians is my favorite MCU movie.
Me too.
So
Okay.
Wow.
I have it beating Batman Begins is great. I think it's like it could have competed in maybe some of the other semifinal matchups, a couple of them, but uh, yeah, it's Guardians for
This
me.
is just one of those rare times where I'm with you on Guardians, but it should have been first rounded.
So
No,
would you have Iron Man over Batman
I would have
Begins?
had Iron Man in the semifinals
I
right
would
now.
have had Iron Man losing to every. I would have had Iron Man losing to The Incredibles. I would have had Iron Man losing to Batman
You
Begins.
underrate Iron Man. Such a
Winter Soldier or Into the Spider?
it's Winter Soldier, but it's like
It is
you
not.
guys
Winter
clearly wouldn't
Soldier
put
is
Civil
great,
War. You wouldn't put a
but
5-star movie in Civil War over one of your animated movies, but you're definitely not going to put a 4.5 star.
here's the thing. Winter Soldier is great, but
It's
I like Into the Spider-Verse more than I like Across the Spider-Verse. If this was Across the Spider-Verse versus
Ooh.
Winter Soldier, it might be close for me. Like I genuinely don't know what I would pick. But Into the Spider-Verse is
I
Can
like
I just say
Across
Miles
more.
Morales is not a very good character. He
yes,
doesn't.
he is.
I don't
What's
really
so
He's the
care
best
about him.
Spider-Man easily.
I just
what's
don't
so
care
different
about
about him
Miles
than any other
Morales.
Spider-Man? What makes
I'm
him so
raising an
different
eyebrow at
than any
that.
other Spider-Man, Adam?
What'd you say, Joseph?
I'm just saying that's you say what you think. Say what, say why.
He's just not emotionally captivating. He has no reason to make me care about him. Like you guys are acting like this is a 5-star, one of the
The
best
uncle
movies ever, but
the
he
for
doesn't
obviously
have
spoilers,
it doesn't have a main character that's that good.
he's the best Spider-Man. He's better
No,
than any of the live
he's the
action
fourth
Spider-Man.
best. Oh my God.
First
I
of
don't
all, if
really
you're even
know
making
how
the
I
argument
would.
that people like
Actually,
Tom,
you could argue he's better than Tom Holland because I think
he's also easily better than
Tom Holland's
Garfield.
movies get
He's easily
carried
better
by
than
the
Tobey.
villains, but he's not better than either Toby or Garfield. Absolutely not.
I don't really know if you can compare them, but I don't think there's anything like drastically different that makes him much worse. Besides, like the
He's not.
whole thing with Into and Across for you is that it's animated, which is
That's a
just
big part of it, but I just don't think
such
Miles
a
Morales is a
dumb
very good
argument.
character. I don't think
He's
Tom Holland
literally
is
like
either,
the
but
exact same um
no.
like formula for Spider-Man. Got bit by a radioactive spider and now he becomes Spider-Man.
I
It's literally
also think
the exact same
his
thing.
his kind of
And in
He doesn't have a
Across,
love
you have
interest.
such a unique
He doesn't have a
dynamic
love
yes, he
interest.
between
does.
No, he doesn't.
what
What? He said he doesn't have a love interest.
It's not serious.
Spider-Gwen.
what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but not after,
I
not
mean,
after. Like
not
it's kind of like
Did
not
you
like
it.
watch
every single
Across?
like superhero movie
What?
has to have
No,
like
but we're debating Into right now.
Yeah, but you said he doesn't have an
Yeah,
he
and Into
doesn't
the
have a love.
Spider-Verse, he does not have a love interest.
You don't need to have a love interest in the
To be
sense
a
that first of all, this is a
no,
captivating
trilogy.
Captivating
they've done that with
Spider-Man, that's part
Spider-Man
of it.
so
Yeah.
many
You can
times.
also say the same thing for the first Spider-Man that he doesn't really he
I don't
kind of
love the
kisses
first Spider-Man.
MJ.
I'd get him first rounded.
Okay, what's his love interest in Homecoming? Like none of like I feel like besides the
He
Amazing
literally has
Spider-Man.
MJ. What are you talking about?
No.
In Homecoming, MJ is not a
If
major
you
part.
Yeah.
what?
MJ
In
is not
Homecoming,
MJ is
Yeah,
MJ
if
is
not a
you
not
major
an
can't
part.
detect
integral
the
part.
tension between MJ and Tom Holland there, you were not watching
There's
Amazing
way more of
Spider-Man.
tension or romantic possible interest, like platonic interest between Miles and Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse than there is
No,
between
not at
Tom and
all. Not at
yes, not even
all. But you
close.
can't see that because it's animated. You can't see it.
Yes, you can. You can hear it as well. It's about the voice performances too.
I mean, it's Winter Soldier
Um,
for me, but you guys are obsessed with
no,
these animated
Into the
slobs.
Again, Winter
Spider-Verse.
Soldier is great, but Into the Spider-Verse is
All right,
better.
I'm very, very happy with this Final Four. Just like before we get
I'm
into
pretty
it,
happy with this.
There's only one, maybe two of these movies that should even be in this Final
what
Four.
what would be your Final Four, Adam?
My Final Four, if we're going off this graphic, Dark Knight, Civil War. Scroll down for me. Please scroll down. Dark Knight, Civil War, Iron Man, and then either Ragnarok or Winter Soldier. I'm indifferent on those two. That'd be a great matchup for me.
Okay, I'm very,
I
very
mean,
happy with
there
this
some
Final
of
Four.
the movies you said were pretty good for the most part, but like, or even great, but
Okay,
you can't discount
You
these
guys
ones.
are just obsessed with this animated slop.
You can't just throw the word slop around,
Yes, I
bro.
can. I have the right.
it's like the farthest thing from slop
Having
ever.
two animated movies, I get having one because you guys want to put it in there, but taking up half of the final four with basically like the same, like it's not the same movie, but the same like literal like trilogy is like very stupid in my
Because
opinion
they're the
You
because
you
it
best.
said you would have
undermines
had
the whole
a
point of
Civil
having a
War and
super.
maybe Winter Soldier as well.
What?
You said you were gonna have Civil War and then possibly Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's
But
three
what,
MCU movies.
those are
We only
not
have
those
one
are not
MCU.
back-to-back trilogy movies that take place one and after each other.
Yeah, but they're also just better than like
Of course, that's subjective, not objective. The classic Joseph argument.
in our opinion, in me and Yoni's
Exactly.
opinion, they're better.
Exactly. Subjective. I go on objectivity, you go on subjectivity.
How
Big
do you go?
difference.
Name one time you've gone on
And
objectivity
almost
ever.
every take I have is objective.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
we all
Saying I
we're
personally don't like
all Adam, we're
animation,
all
therefore I'm
just picking
disqualifying the
what
movie
we
is not
think
a
is
good
the
take.
better movie
Not
here.
objective.
We're all just picking what we think is the better movie here. It's just like our, I guess, it's literally just, I guess, our what we think is objective.
But
So we're
here's
we're
my
not
issue
like
with this
judging your
format. My
opinions
issue with
based
this
off of
format
what
is
you
you
think
two
or
have
not.
such aligned interests that your interest is almost always, not always, but it's almost always going to overtake mine because you two like just happen to like the same things. That's not like an issue, you know what I mean? But it's almost always you two going to be overriding.
I
You know what I
think most people would be pretty happy with this top
I
four.
disagree. I'd say that if you sent this, I know maybe some of you from our friend group might have made it to the end. I would say if you text our group chat, the majority would think my Final Four is miles better than your guys' Final
I
Four.
mean, if they think they'd rather have an Iron Man Ragnarok bottom matchup instead of Guardians of the Galaxy versus Into the
Oh, I'm
Spider-Verse,
not
it's
hating
up
on
to them.
Guardians. Everyone would agree both Iron Man and Ragnarok are miles ahead of Into the Spider-Verse.
Not even close, dude.
I,
Come on.
I disagree, but okay.
Again,
Final four, semifinals. Let's get into it. The Dark Knight or Across the Spider-Verse. Now, before anyone starts, Across the Spider-Verse is my pick. I think it's a better movie.
give me two reasons.
I think that you don't have anything on this list that is better than Miles figuring out that he's an anomaly and Miles figuring out that if he wants to save his father, he's going to have to break the canon. And his dynamic between figuring that out and learning about that and Miguel O'Hara as Spider-Man 2099. I don't think that anything in The Dark Knight is better than that.
You want me to
I
tell you
think
what's
this is
better?
the
You want me
best
to tell you what's
movie
better than that?
He's gonna say
on
two
the
words,
list.
No,
but
you want me to
he's
tell you what's
right.
better than that? Every single time the Joker comes on the screen, I am more captivated by than when I saw that scene. Every single time I see him on the screen.
Well, because
Not just one
you have a
scene.
bias
Every
towards
single scene
out of
he's on
animated.
the
You have a
movie.
bias
I am
towards
more
animated
captivated than
movies.
I was when I saw that scene.
You have a biasness towards
No, I
animated
don't have
movies.
a bias because Heath Ledger
Yes, you
can put on a
do.
performance, whereas in that scene, all you can hear is the voice, and the
That
rest
is
is
a
animated.
You
performance,
can
though.
also see how visually stunning it looks. It
It's
Yeah.
is
just not as good as ever.
groundbreaking
You
animation.
I
just
just
It
want to
feel
looks
say,
something when you see
incredible.
Heath Ledger come on the screen as the Joker. You
I
can't
just want to
feel that when
say,
watching Across the Spider-Verse.
I
you'll
think
see what
Across
I'm
the
picking, but the
Spider-Verse,
disrespect towards animated movies that we've seen from Adam, like Into the Spider-Verse reinvented how people look at the animated, like any animated
It didn't
genre. You've
reinvent
seen
how
how
I
many
thought about it.
films have copied the Into the Spider-Verse style since it came out in 2018
I
because
know.
of how visually stunning it looks
it
and
looks
how,
unbelievable. Like
yeah.
every single scene is like a piece of art. It looks so great. It is
The
Into
beginning
and
of Into the
Across the
Spider-Verse is
Spider-Verse are
so
the two
boring.
best looking
The
films,
beginning of
honestly.
Into the Spider, we're not debating Into right now, but it's so boring. I'll get into that when we talk about Guardians, but it's just very boring and not captivating. Um, I would say it's one of the worst origin Spider-Mans, like in terms of like the beginning of the movie. But
I
again,
think
we're
you also
debating
have so
Across right
much
now.
interest.
The Across is very unmemorable to me. I watched it like half asleep because Into wasn't good and the beginning bored me.
You have to, dude,
Wait, so
what?
you're self-admitting you watched it as you
I'm
were half
also
asleep when you
self-admitting The
watched it?
Dark Knight is in my top five movies ever, and something that couldn't captivate me wouldn't even come close to
Yeah,
that.
but what I'm saying is like I'm
I
not
could have
saying
watched the
there's
whole
anything
movie
wrong
and
with it.
nothing would
Like
have
I'm
put
just
it
gonna say
near
this
my
right now.
top five.
I'm agreeing with you that I'm picking The Dark Knight. But you're giving all this criticism for this film and you're literally just admitted you've barely
Yes,
like you've half seen it.
because it's so uncaptivating. It can't even come close to a movie called The Dark Knight. It
You
could have had an
shouldn't be able
amazing
to give
ending.
any take on a movie that you
I
haven't
can
you didn't see it
100% give a
100%.
take. Yes,
No.
because I watched the first one and I still watched the full movie. I just didn't,
You
I
said
don't
you fell
remember most
asleep
of
You
it
said
because
you
it's
fell
halfway
so,
asleep.
I don't remember most of it because it's so unmoving.
because you fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. I
You
said I
just
was
said you
half
fell
You
asleep.
asleep.
know it's also you fell asleep during, which I would is Tenet, which is in your top
Incorrect.
five.
That was at 10 p.m. we started the movie
We
after a
started it before
broadcast
10, bro. We
and
started
four
at like
classes
9.
that day
Everyone has classes.
and a broadcast. which I was at the stadium for 4 hours.
Okay,
I don't
wait,
know. You were
Joseph.
the one who wanted to watch the movie. You seemed excited for it. So,
I did. I didn't realize how tired I was.
Is
oh,
there like
well,
how close is this for you, this matchup?
This is the
I'm not
biggest
asking you, I'm
discrepancy on this
asking Joseph.
entire bracket for
I
me.
don't think it's definitely Dark Knight for me. I have a lot of respect for Across the Spider-Verse. I think it's a great film. I think I have it at a four, but it's a very strong four. Like it's flirting with a four
And you
five.
have the Dark Knight at a 5, right?
And I have the Dark Knight at a five. So
Yeah.
while I like that Across the Spider-Verse got this far, but I'm definitely picking Dark Knight. But I also have no problem with you. Like if someone picks Across the Spider-Verse here, it's their preference. And again, I think it's a great film, so I'm not going to have a problem with someone picking it here. I'm just going Dark Knight. So
Okay. Across the Spider-Verse would be the winner of this bracket for me. But okay. The Dark Knight makes the finals to nobody's surprise, as it is deserving it's deserving of a finals appearance. Guardians of the Galaxy or Into the Spider-Verse.
I like Indu better than Across, but it's not better than Guardians.
I have Into as the winner at another 5 star, and I have Guardians at a
I'm actually
4.5.
going to see how big my discrepancy in rating is for these because I'm curious. Joseph, you can go ahead and give your takes
I
here.
can
I don't know
see
yet. I actually don't
Joseph
because these are like super neck
is
and neck for
struggling
me.
here.
I mean, the
This is the
performances
hardest
that they give
one.
in Guardians just can't be matched than Into by a voice actor. It can't. It's so captivating.
I don't agree with that. I think
I have Guardians at a
the voice performance as
4.25.
Uncle Aaron is is arguably more emotionally captivating than any performance in Guardians, and that's someone who loves Guardians.
I have a 1.25 difference.
Okay, that's cool. Um, I mean, this is the hardest pick on the list for me because I love both of these. I think they're both great. I have them at the same rating, probably have them similarly on like my all-time movie list. I'm probably the movie I feel like I have more nostalgia for, and the one that I think I've seen more that just maybe for me is something I like to go back to a little bit more is Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm probably gonna end up picking that, but it's super close, and it might go. It's honestly like the
Good pick.
close.
R.I.P.
Very
Spider-Verse.
good pick. Very good pick.
R.I.P. All right. You made it far, but unfortunately not everyone's personal favorite. And now, The Dark Knight versus Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I have The Dark Knight, but I think The Dark Knight is much better.
Yeah.
It's
That's
unfortunate for
2v1 right there.
Guardians
So
because I'm happy Guardians made the final, but it is gonna be the Dark Knight. Um, these are probably two like going back through my whole life, two of the movies that definitely in like my top 5 or 10 most watched ever for sure.
really.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the Dark Knight.
All
I think
right.
we can I feel like we haven't really talked a lot about the Dark Knight because it's kind of like
Yeah.
won every matchup without
Yeah.
that much conversation besides maybe the semifinal, but what is it
Yeah.
about the Dark Knight that you think made it win this bracket?
Um, I think The Dark Knight has the best performance ever. I've made that very clear earlier in this podcast. You don't have to agree with me. We can all agree it's top 10 of all time. And maybe
I
some of you would agree it might be top 5 of all time. I don't know if you would, but for me, it's the greatest performance ever. Heath Ledger as the Joker is just so unbelievably like there's not one line I would have wanted to deliver differently. There's not one way he portrayed his face. There's not one mannerism I think he did wrong. I just think it's a perfect performance, and that's not even to mention I thought Christian Bale was very good as the Batman. Obviously, he gets overshadowed, but there's nothing you can really do in that situation. They didn't try to oversaturate it with villains like most superhero movies do. There was really two villains, Two-Face and the Joker. Two-Face was good. He wasn't perfect, but again, you're always going to be overshadowed when you have that good of a performance to go up against. And I just think there was never a boring part. The opening scene's one of my favorite opening scenes ever. It has an amazing ending. In the middle is the best part of the movie.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I just think it's almost the perfect movie, and it's very close to being in my top 4.
Yeah, it's my third favorite superhero movie ever, besides the Spider-Verse movies. But I mean, this movie is just so unbelievably entertaining.
Yeah,
It just moves so quickly. It goes from scene to scene so well. It's
yeah,
paced like tremendously. Heath Ledger. as Adam was mentioning, is unbelievable. I don't think anyone is denying that. But I don't think that like I personally don't really think that there's the greatest performance of all time. I feel like there are just so many like unbelievable
Is that
performances.
more of a you think there's something else he could have done, or there's just other ones that hit you harder and he didn't really do
No, no,
anything?
no. I would I don't know what like I don't think that there is an objective best performance of all time. Like
Hmm.
I think that it's just so you can look at it so in so many different ways. I don't think that there's an objective best like performance ever, but I definitely think that he is in that conversation for like one of the best performances ever, like some of the best performances. But I don't really know if it's like I wouldn't really like say that there's an objective best performance in film. Like I just feel like that's kind of unfair because there's so many. Like it can be your personal favorite, or like it can be like what you think is like your favorite, but I don't think that there is an objective best when we're talking about performances in film. But yeah, I definitely love The Dark Knight. I like that. I like the ending a lot. My one kind of issue with it is that boat scene, which I've discussed in the past, but I think it's kind of an unrealistic. Um,
Ultimatum.
yeah, it's kind of an unrealistic result in that extreme situation, which is
It's sick.
my
It's
only kind
just
of issue with it, but I really think it's outstanding. It feels like a Batman movie. It looks like a Batman movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's probably like in my top 50, 40 favorite movies ever. I have a top 100 list if you guys want to check it out on Letterboxd, and it's pretty high up there. So yeah, not upset with the winner of this bracket. I kind of saw it coming, but my two favorites would be the Spider-Verse movies.
yeah. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna put the watching those two Spider-Verse movies on my rewatch list. I never planned on rewatching them, but you guys have a real like love for them, and I did watch them. I think I watched the first one like a few months after, like right when it came out of theaters. I watched it, and then across. I don't even remember when I watched it because it's like not very relevant for me. But I am gonna rewatch the two,
Okay.
because you guys spoke very highly of them in this episode. So I do
Okay.
plan on it, but I feel like the right movie ended up winning.
I
Joseph?
agree with that. And I think the bracket overall went like how I would want it to. I think three of my top four made the semifinals. The only other one I probably would have had Infinity War over Across. Um, but yeah, Dark Knight and Guardians was probably a perfect final for me, and then Spider Into the Spider-Verse also would have been in the semifinals for sure. Um, I also agree with like pretty much what was said about The Dark Knight from you guys. In terms of Heath Ledger's performance, I think it's like obviously legendary, one of the best I've ever seen, one of my personal favorites. Again, I don't know if you can quantify it as like the best of all time or the objective best, but I certainly think it's the best performance in a superhero movie and in this bracket, no doubt. So I think that was definitely a player in why it's the best movie, and I also think just kind of the scale of the movie and the way it unfolds even outside of Heath Ledger. I mean, I think he is kind of the backbone of the movie, but I still think it's fantastic, even in the scenes that he's not as involved in.
Yeah. All right. Very
All
nice.
right. Well, Yoni, you can unshare your screen now. You can unshare your screen now. That was our superhero bracket. We'll probably have some more episodes coming up about superheroes, about movies. Maybe eventually, when I get to rewatching the Spider-Verse movies, we can have an in-depth episode on that. But we have a lot to look forward to, and very most specifically, the next episode you guys will be seeing after this one gets posted is going to be a specialized episode for Disclosure Day, Steven Spielberg's newest film that'll be coming out most likely on Tuesday for you guys. So be on the lookout for that one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Lots of debates and fun topics here. For us, the Cinemaxxers, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.